Judith, we were just saying, it's Judith, by the way.
Judith. Yeah,
Yes.
I always say Judith in
It's
English.
amazing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We were just saying that there should be more attention for people speaking English instead of speaking Dutch in the Netherlands, in the Benelux, because there are so many people from abroad.
Yes, absolutely. I feel that so the Netherlands is a very small country, as you know, right? So in the world stage, and we need other languages. And fortunately, the Dutch speak many languages.
Yes.
But one of them is absolutely English, and we should focus on it a little bit more, because we have a lot of people from abroad that now work in the Netherlands, expats that are here, and people from different cultural background as well that joined us. So why not use that language?
I noticed that it's something I really enjoy, and when people are actually speaking in business terms, they automatically go over to English.
They do,
because there's so much terminology that is international.
That's true.
That is English.
Yeah.
So you automatically go this way. We are going to be talking about expats.
Yes.
Because you were rightfully saying this is a large group of people, and it's even growing larger.
Absolutely.
A group of people that you and your company coaches as well.
Yes, absolutely.
But you have to tell me, what are the challenges that expats face
in the Netherlands,
making it so important for you to coach them?
Yeah, exactly. Well, so full service career coaching means career coaching for them, and that means everything around their development and also adaptation process when they come to the Netherlands. There are so many things. If you listen to the podcast, for instance, that we also make, is the Dutch are very direct in our communication. Very direct. We are, as people tell me, not very warm people.
I find you warm, Judith.
Well, thank you. I could be warm, but in general, you know, compared to the southern part of Europe, not very warm people. We don't easily invite people over for dinner, let's say. So they find it difficult to find their new set of friends, their new set of family here. And the same goes for the workplace. In the workplace, we, the Dutch, are very, we strive for punctuality. We really like that. Time sensitive.
Yes.
A lot of other cultures are not time sensitive at all. Huh?
Yes.
And we forget about that. There's so many things that they need to learn. They get a boss, and usually that's the Dutch person. And then that Dutch person, you know, uses a management style that is useful here in the Netherlands.
Of course. Very efficient as well.
Efficient, not that warm. Efficient, punctual, we have goals, we want to meet, we can be very direct in the communication. We give feedback. We really like feedback culture in the Netherlands.
Yes, it's a pity though, because it should be feed forward. And yet we often seem to think we'll just use the word feedback, you know.
Yes.
It's supposed to be kind, and it's supposed to be something that helps someone.
Yes.
But we seem to forget that as well.
Yeah, true. And that it's a two-way street always. Yes. So they get really flustered. They really get very confused, and they don't know what to do. And the next steps, even think about that. The next steps in your career, usually the expats, they want to stay here, you know. If they work for ASML now, this is something that they want to build on. Yes. We have a beautiful, wonderful country. The children can go to school here. A high level of education, perfect for them. Yes. So they want to stay. But then the next steps, how do we do that? How do you do that in the Netherlands? Even writing a resume here is different than it is in the US.
Yes, it is.
Everything is different. How you present yourself, personal branding. So all that kind of stuff is what we do in career coaching.
I wouldn't have been myself if I hadn't, of course, done lots of research and even found expats to speak to.
Oh, wonderful!
Of course.
Wonderful.
And I said to them, okay, so what are the biggest challenges you face? And they said, well, it's especially the language and the habits.
Yeah.
And my question is, what is that you do for expats? Because I can imagine that you help them in the career choices and the career path. Yeah. But I can also imagine that is the practical side, right? But these people need much more. And is that something that you do when you coach them?
Well, yes.
Holistic?
Holistic. Well, we are absolutely on the business end. So in that sense, perhaps not completely, but it's very focused. Yeah, career choices, assessments, but also habits is skill set. So you train them in the skill set. If they know how to communicate with their boss, if they know how to communicate better with their boss, to really confront a boss or a team member in our culture, that's quite normal. Eh?
Yes,
I would say to my boss, I disagree.
Of course.
Yeah, well, but if you invite someone from India over, he will never say that. He or she will never say that to the boss. So we train them in that sense. So habits, I would call it skill set.
Oh, that sounds
competences
better.
and skill set.
Right.
So it's very focused in that sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I know since the last years, there have been lots of South Africans entering the Netherlands because of the easy adaptability.
Absolutely.
Lots of people, especially in the region of Eindhoven, of course. Because that's where you have the most fascinating things that happen there as well. But of course in Amsterdam and Rotterdam as well. Because when I go to Amsterdam and Rotterdam, you go into, doesn't matter where you are, English is a language that has been spoken there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there are lots
big cities,
lots of expats.
Yeah.
What does an expat need to start a career in the Netherlands? Because I can imagine that not everybody gets here and starts working immediately, or are they always coming here with work?
Not always. And we also get approached a lot by people from abroad that want to come to the Netherlands.
Right.
But also, I can be invited over as an American for ASML and to join ASML in the Netherlands.
Yes.
But I will bring my partner, my children. And it could be that my partner doesn't have that experience yet, is not able to work for ASML. Well, they face immediately the same challenges. Imagine that you would fly to the US and say, hey, this is me, Lucinda, and I now need a position, I want a job.
Exactly.
This is going to be difficult if you don't know the habits of the people there. What is the way of presenting, how to be visible, how to behave yourself in a job interview, right? Those kind of very specific questions. But also, how will we find a vacancy? I am nervous about that, I haven't been working I have not worked in this country yet. I need to adapt. How do I do that? Those kinds of issues. Yeah.
Oh, that is nice, because I'd never thought that a professional career coaching company would actually be the starting point. I would have thought that it'd be the social community. It's something that has got more. In America, it is if you go to the States, you join a church, for example, and then people look after you.
Yes, they would. Yes,
but here we have a totally different way of
we don't
assessing
have that.
it.
Yeah, but the expat joins the Netherlands, and there is no social hub. Right, churches not that much in the Netherlands anymore, so we don't have that specific community. You can go play tennis. That's what then the expats. That's what ASML then tells the expat. You could play tennis. That's not what they are looking for.
It's a good start.
It's a start. It's a start. But then they need so much more in that sense. And it's a starting point. How will you start your career? And these are people, obviously, that have a very strong background, right?
Exactly.
They have an MBA degree. They have clearly a very good educational background. But then to start and to find something on their level is going to be difficult. Yeah, and then to grow in that is also going to be difficult.
But you automatically said something that triggers me, and finding something at your level, because I know that if English is the language you speak, we all seem to think, oh, that's good. But there are so many other languages that people speak that we don't understand. And yet, my question is there space for these expats? Do you help them, even although it's challenging in the language?
Absolutely, because we work with, what I always say is we offer the services in many languages, and one of them is English, and that's the most required language next to Dutch. Yes. But we help people from the German areas as well in German language. Even if you don't speak Dutch yet, absolutely you can build your career in the Netherlands, but you need help doing that because it's not going to be easy. No. We have such a thing as what we call with Shell and the companies that I worked for, water cooler talk. Water cooler talk means that the water cooler, we go over to the water cooler and we have a talk there.
It used to be the coffee table, you know.
Coffee table.
Okay.
This is the new thing.
The water cooler talk.
The water cooler talk.
I understand.
And often the Dutch then switch, and they always do that, they switch to Dutch. So then
they don't.
They would speak Dutch then. So all the informal talks in the Netherlands are usually in Dutch. And that means that someone that speaks a foreign language, well, they think they can communicate with someone else, and they can in a certain sense, but all the informal talk they miss. Exactly. And all the social and the social gathering they miss. So they need help with that as well.
Yeah.
Then, of course, they will go and take a language course, right? That's not something that we would help them with.
No, of course.
But with the insights and the knowledge that you need certain things, you know, that we would provide.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get this. This sounds like heaven on earth, especially because coming to a new country can really be, doesn't matter, because I'm a South African and I know lots of South Africans who come here, and everybody always says, oh, but the cultures are so alike. No, there's nothing less true than that. The languages seem to be going quite well, but people are in a different state of mind. People are in a different world.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter if it's Germany or if it's France or if it's Italy, people are still you come to this culture, which is very closed. And you need someone to open that path for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that path is not only educational, or it's not only work related, but it's also, and it's not only to go and play tennis or go and play something else, but you are the porthole to how someone can actually get established here.
The guide. Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of the guide. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
But you have all these disciplines, you know. You don't only have one specific coaching discipline, but you have so many. And so many professionals. So these people can always help the expats get to where they need to be, right?
That's the idea behind it. What I said is, when I spoke to colleagues as well, is I want to have a full service.
Yes.
Full service means career coaching, everything around you, yourself, your development, and your career, right? So it is everything around that. Holistic, not complete. It's not the soft side. It is the very, straightforward. But part of that is expat coaching, expat helping, and they know this kind of service. They do. They do.
That's perfect, because I teach at this once a month. I teach at the university, and there are lots of expats because everything goes in English. And what I have noticed is these people they're not stupid. They understand once you help them.
Very intelligent.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So I mean, they really. Assimilate. Not only that, but they love the Dutch culture. But they have to have someone who gets them going.
Exactly.
And I like that.
Also hearing them and, confirming to them, this is the way I perceive it. How my boss is doing this and this to me, and how, I'm feeling really lost. I'm getting really stressed. I don't understand. Yeah. Oh no, but your boss is trying to say probably this and this and this and this, and we can work through that. What are the goals? How can we help you? And that helps them tremendously. That's what they tell us.
But automatically, I'm thinking about a different perspective, and that is, in how far do you help the companies understand the language of the expat? Because I can imagine that if you, Eindhoven is of course a perfect example. These people come in, but it's also a great change and challenge for the people working in the company. And as a manager or a director, you have to be able to understand not only this is Peter.
Yes.
But Peter's world and Peter's perception.
Yes.
So do you also help these companies
with that? Yeah, it's part of you would say in our case it would be part of leadership coaching and training for the for instance the manager or the leader there in that organization. Right. Yeah, internationals and multinationals and how to deal. I mean, international approach, international business, and how to deal with that is absolutely something that we provide in the leadership part.
Oh, fantastic! Because I can imagine that you might come here completely optimistic, as Americans, for example, are really optimistic.
Oh, really?
And that is great to have, but if you have to work with that every day,
they are really lost after a year.
Yes.
If they don't get help, even an optimistic American professional will get really lost here after a year. This is to them, this is such a strange culture, and like you have experienced, we think that we are friendly and that we are very nice. I don't know if you would completely agree with that, right? We can be very blunt and very direct, and that can really hurt feelings, and we didn't even notice that, right? Yes. So an expat has to speak up, but he has to be trained to do that. Exactly. Because in his culture, it's not okay to speak to the boss that way. So a lot of things that you can learn in that sense.
What I like about this is the leadership part. That is the part you take care of as well.
Yeah.
Coaching the expat, helping this person out as to how you can actually navigate into this new world and this new career.
Right.
And also opening up the opportunities, because there are opportunities for expats, right?
A lot of opportunities, obviously.
Share that with me, because when you say that, it gets me all excited, because we need these people. But the question is, do these people actually see that they are welcome and that there are opportunities for them?
I would say that probably they would tell us, no, not that they are that welcome and opportunities out there for them. Well, they know they get hired, or their husband or their wife gets hired here. So obviously opportunities. But no, I don't think they see the road ahead and the whole set of opportunities that the Netherlands offers. Like I would also have difficulty in the States if I would be there on my own, right? I need a friend there that helps me.
Yes.
But there are a lot of opportunities. Why would I say that? Well, the Netherlands is a small country. We don't have that many. My parents come from very large families, but my brother and myself, we are the only two children, right? So you are going to see this is going to be difficult in the Netherlands in the future,
and this
right?
is going to happen even more often because there aren't those big families anymore.
No, exactly. And they need care and they need all kind of stuff. So we do need vacancies fulfilled. And we will not be able to do that with Dutch citizens alone. So we absolutely need. But not only that, I would say the Netherlands is very good in the past also in business international. This is not a coincidence that I spent a lot of my time in international business.
Right.
The Dutch are very good in that in the whole world. Yeah. So why not invite people in? Because their knowledge and their perspective will give us the edge in the future.
That is fantastic, because I was speaking to somebody a while ago in a big corporate, and I said, the edge is what we need. And we seem to forget that we don't know it all. And these people actually bring the knowledge and the perspectives that we haven't thought of.
Absolutely, true.
And I'm really excited about it because it's something that is booming since a few years.
Yes.
Now, there are lots of people who, on different levels, social levels, they help the expats. But expats can't only be helped on a social level, of course.
No.
So my question is, the tennis club, you can just Google the tennis club.
Right.
But how do people find you, Judith? How do they find this coaching that is so essential for getting ahead?
Oh, how they find us? That's a very good question. Obviously we would know that because we will ask.
Of course,
yes.
It wouldn't be you who didn't ask.
Exactly,
which I understand.
We would ask.
Right.
No, but a lot of that is network and social media, obviously, right? So it is network. It's all network. We are an established agency in that sense. So you have a certain brand name that they know, but also ASML knows us, colleagues there, right? And they speak. I'm from large companies, so those people know the company name. So you establish a name in the industry, but a lot of it is also social media. Obviously, if someone is going to look for a career coach, they will find us on social media. Absolutely.
That is fantastic, knowing that. Because I've spoken to these people so often and I've never asked them, so how did you get started out here? Because you have to navigate the way. And I know a few expats and they always seem to hold on to this little world that they know. It's such a pity.
Yeah, that would be a pity.
Because there are so many other opportunities for them.
Yeah, true.
So can I see it like this, that companies who have expats as well address you and say, Judith,
come help.
Come and help.
Yeah, they do that. Absolutely.
That's
great. Yeah, absolutely. So companies approach us directly.
You're right.
And also professionals approach us directly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I find that very courageous of them. But is it something that they do when they are abroad, or something they do when they get here?
Probably when they realize that it's not going to be that easy. Yeah. So probably when there is already an issue.
Right.
The companies, they would send people over just for leadership development, right? So this would be their normal kind of way of looking at people, and then they would end up with us. But the individuals, probably when there is an issue already. But what then often also happens is that, for instance, if a guy comes to the Netherlands and takes his family with him, that he then that he realizes that he has, for instance, a nice career path, and he has, but then he has a wife that also had excellent training, and she wants to get started, and that then he or she takes the initiative to contact us directly. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's absolutely fantastic. It's for my own knowledge, of course, because I'm thinking about all the possibilities of the people. Because I work in a place, or at least I have once a month, I'm in a place where there are only expats, and it's really interesting because I find it such a pity that people limit themselves because they don't know that you exist
that
and
the
these possibilities exist. Fantastic.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it's of course the question: are there portals abroad, especially in a country like South Africa, where IT companies come to you first and say, could you help us out when the expats get here? Or is it always you're talking about ASML, you're talking about the Shell, and the large companies? But I can imagine that IT companies, do they approach you as well, or do you approach them? How does that work?
No, what we see often is that we are very fortunate. So far, we get approached a lot through the network and social.
Yes.
But yeah, what we do see is that there are now a lot of people abroad, companies, organizations abroad that say we want to provide that portal. Exactly. I got that question a couple of days ago, and I've seen it sometimes before that as well. Yeah, so there are now organizations also abroad that focus or starting to get focused on the Netherlands and bringing people here and how to do that.
Exactly.
And then they approach us.
Right.
Yeah.
A question out of curiosity: Are we ready as Dutch citizens for this influx of expats? Do we actually understand the necessity of the expat? Because I was just saying to you, in Dubai, there's like 90% of the people living there are expats.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's an enormous impact on your city.
Yeah, absolutely.
But do we understand and do we see the advantages? And what are the advantages for expats?
Yeah, I think that the Dutch perhaps should realize that there is absolutely no choice in that sense, yes. Right? It's not a matter of will we choose that. No, if you want to stay on the edge and you want to develop your company and your organization, you will need. So it's just there's no discussion about it, in my opinion, in our opinion.
Yes.
The Dutch, not always, and the expats are a little bit conscious of the fact that the Netherlands, with the political system, that it's changing a little bit. A lot of expats mention to us that they are a little bit concerned about that, what that means. Is the culture still open to people from abroad? But I would say, and I will say that, the Dutch are, from history on, we are very focused on doing international business. Yes. We will adapt to that, but it can be a phase. If you go to Dubai and you see 90% expats, I could be concerned if I was living in that city, right? 90%, almost the whole city is then not native anymore. That could perhaps concern me a little bit as well if I would be living in Dubai.
Do you mean that? Would it concern you? I would only see an enlargement and a development and opportunities.
Opportunities, yeah. Yeah, I'm an optimistic person like that, but I have absolutely empathy with people that would think, that is a high amount, right? But for the Netherlands, that's obviously not the case at all.
No.
We at all have that yet.
What kind of percentages are we talking about?
Much lower percentage, I would say, 15%, something like that. But I'm talking about our focus area, right? So these are the highly educated people. That's that kind of expat. Exactly. The Dutch will adapt to that, and you need to be, like the Dutch, direct, be upfront, learn, teach yourself also with help how to navigate this culture, because then you will see all the opportunities. What I say, and that's what the experts tell us. We have an excellent healthcare system compared to a lot of countries in the world, right? We have an excellent educational system. So for your children to study here is fantastic, and for career possibilities. You and I know this. A lot of possibilities here. So if you work and you show some initiative, you can make it anywhere, but you can also make it here in the Netherlands.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, this is exactly what I got back from the expats that I spoke to, and that is that it's a very pleasant country to live in. Yeah, still is a pleasant country. I mean, I understand the concerns, but those are not only concerns for the Netherlands. I think it's worldwide.
Worldwide, you're right.
Europe, is changing,
true, exactly.
And I think one of the most important things for anybody is to adapt to change,
and
not be afraid of it, but just see the opportunities that it holds as well.
Always.
Exactly, but
you're
the optimist, So,
and you too.
Of course, because every change means opportunity.
Yes,
every adaptation means growth.
Yes, it does.
And
it really does.
That's fantastic, because I think even if I would come to the Netherlands now, I think it'll be an amazing place.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
There is so much, for so many reasons, so much opportunity. And it's not only, I mean, if you look at the big cities, there is so much possible. And I love that. I love that about the Netherlands.
Okay, I hear you.
That this whole it's never stopping, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And there are always companies who, whether they are startups or scale ups, it doesn't matter.
We will find something.
Exactly.
Yeah, true.
This creativity,
resilient also.
Exactly.
Very resilient people.
which is I think one of the most key things to know when you get here. These people are they are good people.
True.
I mean, I know you're saying about this warmth and about this not being as South Europe-y, but I think on the other hand they are honest. And
yes, I agree.
I mean, they don't say things they don't mean, because I used to work in England, and I found that to be so frustrating. I couldn't get things done.
I hear you. Yeah, exactly.
You know,
this would be where South Africans and the Dutch find each other, right?
I must admit, though, I always said after I'd worked in England, I would never go back again, because when I was there, they were very enthusiastic and working. But when I was gone, I missed it all. So there was clearly
it's different.
Communication.
Totally different. I like adapting to different cultures. I like it's not about us, it's about that other culture.
Yes.
And I see the strength in the UK, and I see the strength in the US, and I see the strength clearly in the Netherlands.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I used to work in Belgium as well, and I had these sales managers, and they would always start cooking for me on the Friday afternoon.
They would.
Yes.
Belgium.
Yes, I know. So I had to get used to it. On the Friday afternoon, there was just no work going there.
Oh, no. And that's the other thing. We have this work-life balance that the expats tell us that they really appreciate.
Really?
They do, yeah.
So why do expats appreciate this work-life balance?
We have a work-life balance, and in other countries, they don't have that.
Right.
Yeah.
Fascinating, though.
That is fascinating. Yeah.
I think this is such an interesting topic, simply because I can so relate to it, but also because everybody gets, nobody is excluded from this.
No. True.
If you're in the workplace, nobody's excluded.
No, that is absolutely true. And they have to get used to that.
Right.
Because they are not used to that at all.
No.
The boss leaves at 5 o'clock. And then the person is looking at that and saying, what happened? What did I do wrong?
Is that part-timer gone too?
Is he leaving the firm? Is he going to be fired? No, honey.
He's really going home now. He'll be back tomorrow
exactly.
again.
He could be back.
Oh, fantastic. No, but I think that's good. It's an exciting topic, and also a very relevant topic. It's going to be something that's going to be right in our face the next few years, and you can't escape it. So you might just as well,
embrace it.
Exactly. Fantastic. Judith, I love it.
Me too.
I'm getting all excited. I mean, I've learned so much about expats, because even yesterday I went to an intercultural seminar, just to also understand this for our conversation today, because it's so important that we understand that we're not alone in the world, and we actually have to be more welcoming to these people.
Yes, we have to be. Yeah,
because
it's a small world. We are doing this together.
Exactly. Fantastic. Well, I love that, Judith. I think every expat is welcome, and especially also knowing that they are accepted in this society.
Yes.
It's not a society that is cold and sharp.
No.
It's a very society that has formed itself is very efficient.
Yes.
And also there we may be able to do some concessions in the communication, of course.
True. You need to navigate.
Yes,
that's it.
That's the word, navigate. Thank you very much. I
You're
loved
welcome.
every word of it.
Oh, me too. Thank you, Lucinda.